right, welcome everybody to the DeepBrain AI and ElevenLabs webinar. Through the agenda here, so everybody has a kind of view of what we're sharing today. The goal is to have a 30-minute webinar with about 10 to 15 minutes of Q&A at the end. This webinar is being recorded, and everyone who registered will receive a link to the recording. We'll start with introductions, and then I'll hand it over to ElevenLabs, and Carlos will tell us about their company and the amazing things they're doing with speech synthesis. And then we'll kick it back to myself, and I'll share about DeepBrain AI and our video synthesis technologies. And then I'll end up showing some demos of videos we've created using video from DeepBrain AI and audio from ElevenLabs, and really marrying these two technologies together to create a compelling video experience. Then we'll do the Q&A. And about the Q&A, you should see a Q&A icon in your little dashboard. So just submit your questions through the Q&A chat window, and we'll get to them at the end. And with introductions, I'll hand it over to Carlos. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, I'm Carlos, VP of Revenue at ElevenLabs. And I've been working for many years now in startups, helping from literally from the early days with just a bunch of people all the way to acquisition or unicorn or a bunch of things. And at ElevenLabs, we do voice technology. So I will give you a few more insights in just a few minutes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Carlos. And my name is Joe Murphy. I'm with DeepBrain AI. I work out of our Palo Alto office in California. I do business development for our global team, and I've been with the company for about 2 years. Really excited to be working on generative AI and video synthesis technologies. And prior to this, I worked on speech recognition, facial recognition, in very early days, and some of the smart speakers as well. And with that, we'll move on, and I will hand the presentation over to ElevenLabs.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, first of all, I think some of you might know ElevenLabs, some of you might not know ElevenLabs. At the end of it, what we built is a voice technology platform, right? An entire voice platform that sounds human-like. But before we go into the details, I thought it would be quite interesting to actually get an idea of a little bit of a perspective and take a step back here, right? So when you think about voice, it's the most natural and traditional form of communication, right? So we've been talking to each other and communicating with our own voices for the past 50,000 years as humans, right? And fundamentally, that has been the way in which we've told the stories, we've engaged in personal relationships, and essentially have navigated the entire world. And when you look at it from an investment perspective or from a technology perspective, the majority of investments, the majority of technology has been focused on reproducing and recreating the entire world in a computer, right? So more on the visual aspect of it. There has definitely been some companies like working on the voice side to try to make it as human as possible and to voice like some robots potentially, right? But up until now, it's been still sounding too much of a robot. So what we ended up doing is we spent the past 20 months or we spent almost 2 years now trying to figure out exactly what makes a human voice sound human. And when you look at that, you are able to actually recognize there are things that are super important. Number one is all about it needs to sound natural, right? And that sounds silly, but if it doesn't sound natural, it just completely breaks the entire narrative. It breaks the magic, and people don't really want to talk to a robot, right? It's like every time that I get I receive a phone call, and after picking up, I hear that it's a robot on the other line, on the other side of the line, I immediately hang up, right? And that's because we as humans, we have some sort of we kind of reject those robot voices, right? That's number one. Second one is the fact that as humans, we're able to do dialogues, we're able to have conversations, and also we are able to do presentations and long form narration, right? So we thought if it needs to sound natural, if we want to actually make it so that it's much more believable, we need to be able to do both things at the same time. Number three is anything related to contextual awareness, right? So if you want to make it good at scale, you need to be able to incorporate some level of understanding of what's happening into the tire text, or like the scene that you're trying to render, or anything that you're trying to render, so that you don't have to go and manually change words, lines, and things like that. So we thought, like, we need to find a way to incorporate it. And then the final piece is like, we accept that we make mistakes all the time, and as such, like, our brains accept those mistakes as a natural things. We also need, like, we have breaths when we speak and things like that. So we wanted to incorporate some of those elements into our own voices as well, so that we could make it sound a lot more believable and more natural. So I think, like, at the end, what we ended up creating is the most realistic and versatile and contextually aware AI voices in the market, right? But we still see ourselves like as a pure research company that like ends up like has that is very focused on the voice, on the audio side of it, but so that like our customers can generate content at scale, but still fundamentally a pure research company that wants to develop products and then give like submit like features, and then make sure that like on a weekly basis we're constantly advancing the technology to a whole new level that was not possible before, right? And essentially, we have like two founders, like Mati and Piotr, childhood friends. Both of them like started in Poland, or like were born in Poland, or grew up in Poland. And like the entire idea from like in the company was all about the fact that like they used to go to the movies. And in Poland, then you still have one person like dubbing the entire movie. So you like in the majority of cases, you would have like a single male narration doing the male voices, doing the female voices, and everything, right? And over time, there was an idea of like, what if through realistic voices, we could also be able to actually submit or like improve the experience on the movie side, right? So like that's the origins of the company. And when we think about it, it's all about three core components for us, right? Like number one, the ability to create any content you wanted, as we were saying earlier. Number two is anything related to the fact that like it needs to be contextually aware, right? So how do we ingest the data from the models so that, or like the text, so that the models automatically decide whether to put like the voice should be sounding happy or angry, or it should be like fast-paced, or it should be like anything else. That is one element. And the third element was all about like the voice creation, right? So the ability of like cloning voices at the highest possible quality, which is what we call professional voice cloning, and it requires 30 minutes worth of data and everything. Like there is also like the ability to clone voices at a medium level quality, which is what we call instant voice cloning, and it requires only 1 single minute worth of data. And then the ability to also like create voices synthetically from scratch, right? So those are the three components of our technology. We have a lot more that we've been releasing and improving over the past months. But when you mix all of those three components, you end up having like four core like products that we've launched. Number one, this is like the first one that we launched with, like text-to-speech in English or multiple languages. Today, we support 29 languages at the highest quality possible. That sound like, essentially, it's all about like input text, speech comes out, sounds like human. Number two product that we released recently, it's all about like speech to speech, right? So me talking directly, making quite a lot of inflections or anything I wanted, and then selecting a voice, and then the speech that comes out of it is with that given voice using my delivery. So that's a brand new product that we released like recently, and it's actually working super, super well. And we've gotten quite a lot of like really good feedback so far. Number three is like voice cloning, anywhere from like 1 minute worth of data all the way to 30 minutes worth of data for the highest quality version of it. And number four is like the voice, the AI dubbing studio, which is the entire idea is you have a video, you have an audio, and you want to clone it or you want to dub it into like 20 languages. Fine, you should be able to upload it, and within a few seconds or within a couple of minutes, you should have that video or that audio fully dubbed into a completely different language overall. So I think like at the end of it, it's all about like the scalability. It's all about the fact that like our models, when we clone a voice, is all about like, it's multilingual by nature. So it's my voice that I'm cloning that is able to natively speak like Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, like French, Italian, whatever language that we support. And at the end of it is all about like being able to do a variety of like use cases so that like anyone can build applications on top of our infrastructure play. And one of the key things that we've been spending quite a lot of time these days is how do we enable real-time interactions, right? One of those ones, like, so, and we build like specific features and tools to make sure that our customers, whether that is like on the enterprise side or that is on the consumer side, then essentially they're able to actually like leverage the infrastructure or the product that we've built, the technology that we've built, to do quite a lot of different things. Like some features specifically for real-time applications that we'll be building is like output streaming, right? So you don't have to wait until the entire content is generated, and you can just start streaming like if you were seeing or watching a YouTube video or like a Netflix movie. That's number one. Another option is like the MULA format, right? So that you can automatically incorporate it into like telephony systems. Time codes for lip syncing. That's another one that we have through the WebSockets. We have what we call full privacy mode, so that like we don't store anything other than metadata in our database. We have turbo models for like 400 millisecond latency in English. Input streaming as well, so that like you don't have to wait until the entire content is generated and send it in batch. You can just open a GPU and then feed it directly through an LLM directly to us, and then we like generate the speech and then keep sending it to you. And then at the end of it, it's all about like scalability, right? Like, so whether you need like 1,000, like 100 or like 20 or any number of concurrency, we can support that as well. And just to finish, some key stats here. So today we have like 29 languages. We're building a lot more because the goal is to actually like power all the languages in the world. We officially launched the product at the end of January this year. So it's been about 10 months since we officially launched. Very quickly gathered over 1 million registered users. We have quite a lot more than that, but these are the public numbers that we say. About 38.9% of Fortune 500 companies use ElevenLabs these days. So, and that's from 0 at the end of January. And we've raised about 21 million from some key investors in the world, from A16Z, Cree Dementius, Concept, Nat Fidman, and a bunch of other ones as well. But let me stop in here so that it just like we are able to do talk about other stuff.
All right. Awesome, Carlos. Thank you so much. And then I will jump back into my presentation. Got it. All right. So I'll tell you an overview of DeepBrain AI and our video synthesis technology. Basically, what we do is we create photorealistic avatars that are based on real people. And the way we do this is we start with a real person. We bring them into the studio. It's a pretty standard green screen format. And we video them and we capture their facial expressions. We capture their voice. We capture their mannerisms down to the tiniest little details. When I say facial expressions, the way they blink their eyes when they speak, the way their lips move. Lip syncing is a very crucial point for creating a realistic avatar experience. And the voice, we clone their original voice in their native language. And the mannerisms, the way they move their hands when they talk, the way their shoulders move, their natural body movements, this is all captured in a video session. We take that as our training data, and then we build a model, an AI avatar of that person. And we learn all of this through deep learning of how they speak, how they present. And this is the model that is created that looks like the real person, sounds like the real person, has the scalability of script to video. So whenever this avatar is used, there's no need for the traditional camera, lights, hair, makeup, studio. That all goes away. You just log into AI Studios, select the avatar, type the script, and then hit generate, and it synthesizes the video based on the script that you've input. So beyond scalability, we also look at availability. These avatars are available 24/7, 365. So you can create as much content as you want, whenever you want. The avatars live inside of our platform. It's called AI Studios. You can find it off of our website, deepbrain.io. One of our products is AI Studios. Log in, you can video just to try it out, up for a monthly plan or a yearly plan. Within AI Studios, you'll find our photorealistic avatars, the text to video, very easy to use interface. It's basically type the script, drop in the elements for the video, could be backgrounds, could be music. It's all available within our video editor platform. You select the avatar, different outfits for the avatars, different gestures and hand movements. It's all there, click and drag it in. It's almost like building a PowerPoint presentation. We also have an integration with ChatGPT. So if you have trouble writing the script, you can ask ChatGPT to write the script for you. You just say, here's the topic of my video, please write a script, and it'll generate a script that you can then edit and create a video using ChatGPT scripts. We have 70 stock avatars available, all fully licensed, ready to go. What that means is when you create a video with one of our avatars, you own that video. So everything, all the licensing is passed through with the platform. So you can use your video wherever you like. And we have greater than 50 languages supported within AI Studios right now. So any avatar can speak any language, and I'll show some video demonstrations of this in just a few slides. So this is AI Studios, and everything I'm showing you here is without ElevenLabs. But what I would like to show you is when we work together, when we stack AI technologies together, the sum is greater than the parts, because as we have a ChatGPT integration for helping writing script, we can use ElevenLabs audio for creating new voices that weren't previously available. Before I do that, there's a couple use cases for AI Studios that I want to call out, just because these videos can be used in many, many different applications, but these two were particularly interesting. And the one on the left here is an AI news anchor. And this is Fox 26 in Houston, USA. And they are using one of our AI avatars for weekly updates on what's happening in the city of Houston. And I'll just play a quick sample here. Before I play the sample, I want to preface it with, I'm doing a screen share over Zoom for webinars right now. So they use a lot of compression on the video. So sometimes the lip sync looks off on the Zoom endpoint. That's not what it looks like on YouTube. It's not what it looks like in social media where these videos exist. If anybody's interested, I can send a copy of this presentation and you can experience the video firsthand, how end users experience it. So if you do see some lip sync issues, it's most likely due to the video compression from Zoom. Having said that, here's the example of Fox 26.
Hello, I'm Reva Houston, your virtual correspondent for Fox 26. Here is what's happening this week. ERCOT has issued a weather watch until Friday because of forecasted higher temperatures and higher electrical demand. Officials say grid conditions are expected to be.
And I'm not going to play the full newscast, but this is a weekly update that they use for our AI avatars providing this information. Actually, there's more than 12 networks across Asia that are using our AI avatars as well. So AI news anchors in Asia, China, and Korea specifically are quite common these days. It's catching on in India, and we're in the early days here in the US, but you can see Fox 26 is breaking new ground, being the first to use. And the next one is an AI celebrity. This is a really fun one. Howie Mandel, who's a famous comedian, actor, TV personality here in the United States. He has an AI avatar that we created for him so he can do things like product reads or virtual appearances or reach out to his fan base using his AI avatar. And I'll just play a quick clip here that shows AI Howie Mandel.
Hey everybody, it's AI Howie, coming to you with the help of my new friends at DeepBrain. Thanks to the power of artificial intelligence, you will soon be seeing me everywhere. Do you remember the movie Gremlins?
Yes, I.
So that's just two fun examples, but really our videos are used everywhere, from HR onboarding, learning and development, sales and marketing, social media. And I want to play an example here. This is one of our stock avatars. Her name is Olivia, and this is using the stock voice that we made during the video shoot process. So here's Olivia.
Hello, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Olivia, and I am one of the avatars available within AI Studios. This entire video was created by simply typing a script, with 70 avatars in more than 50 languages. People all around the world are using AI Studios to create custom videos to support sales, marketing, social media, learning, news, and many other applications.
So that's just a quick snippet, and I'll show you the AI Studios backend on how I made this in a minute. But what I want to show you first is the next one. It's the same video, the same avatar, Olivia, but using an ElevenLabs voice. I went into the ElevenLabs voice lab. They have thousands of voices available. I selected a voice, I entered the script, downloaded the audio file, uploaded it to AI Studios, and now Olivia is presenting in a brand new voice.
Hello, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Olivia, and I am one of the avatars available within AI Studios. This entire video was created by simply typing a script. With 70 avatars and more than 50 languages, people all around the world are using AI Studios to create custom videos to support sales, marketing, social media, learning, news, and many other applications.
So you can see it's a simple process to leverage the power of ElevenLabs audio into AI Studios video. And I'm going to show one more example. This is the multilingual example. So this is Maria, another one of our avatars. And she's just going to say a test script in about 3 different languages. So first she's going to speak in English, then she's going to speak in Spanish, and then she's going to speak in Korean. It's the same script in all 3, and it's just an example of what we do within AI Studios.
Hi, can you hear me loud and clear? This is a test 1, 2, 3. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Hola, ¿puedes oírme alto y claro? Esto es una prueba. 1, 2, 3. El rápido zorro marrón salta sobre el perro perezoso.
안녕하세요. 저를 크고 분명하게 들을 수 있나요? 이것은 테스트입니다. 1, 2, 3. 빠른 갈색 여우가 게으른 개를 뛰어넘습니다.
So what you may have noticed there is it was Maria, all 3 videos, but her voice didn't sound the same as we transitioned from one language to the next. We were using a off-the-shelf TTS. It wasn't cloning Maria's original voice into other languages. But when I worked with ElevenLabs, I was able to clone Maria's voice. So now when Maria speaks in different languages, it still sounds like the original Maria. And that's the example that I'll play here. Again, it's the same video, same script, but this time we're using an ElevenLabs voice clone. And to create a voice clone, I went into AI Studios, typed up about a minute of script, uploaded that to the voice lab in ElevenLabs, and then created the clone just using about a minute worth of audio data. This isn't their professional clone, this is their quick clone. So here's an example.
Hi, can you hear me loud and clear? This is a test 1, 2, 3. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Hola, ¿puedes oírme alto y claro? Esta es una prueba. 1, 2, 3. El veloz zorro marrón salta sobre el perro perezoso. 안녕하세요. 제 말이 크고 또렷하게 들리나요? 이것은 1, 2, 3의 테스트입니다. 날렵한 갈색 여우가 게으른 개를 뛰어넘습니다.
So what we see there is not only does it look like Maria in each video, but it also sounds like her because now we've cloned her voice. And with that, I'm going to show the back end. So this is inside of AI Studios. And these are the videos that I showed in the presentation. And when I come in here and I edit this video, you can see this is Olivia. That's the model I selected, but over like many different models to work with. Here's the script I typed. And then if I come over here, I edit this one. This is the same video, but using the ElevenLabs voice. So the only thing different here is instead of a text script, I'm using an audio script. So I went to the ElevenLabs website here and used their speech synthesis. And I can use their multilingual model, paste in the text, generate the audio, and then upload that audio here. And we're lip syncing and generating the video to that audio that we received from ElevenLabs. So it's a very simple, enables now thousands of new voices that we didn't have access to, as well as enabling voice clone technology that enables bilingual, trilingual, multilingual scenarios where the avatars can speak many languages and sound like the same person in each of those languages. And with that, I'm going to stop the share and open up the Q&A. It looks a little light in the Q&A right now. So if people would enter their questions now. We can answer them, but there is one in there. Are you guys launching a real-time custom-made avatar anytime soon? So what I showed you today was AI Studios. AI Studios is not really suited for real-time engagement. This is for creating informational one-way video on the fly. So we have another product called AI Human that supports conversational engagement. So we're synthesizing video in real time. That's a different webinar for a different day, but I will definitely reach out to you and give you more information about that. And another question I have here is for ElevenLabs. How many languages do you support, and what is the plan for adding additional languages?
Yeah, so I mean, today we support about 29, including Hindi, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Classic Arabic, Korean, you name it. And the goal is to keep expanding. I think like at the end of it, there is like hundreds and hundreds of languages across the world that we would like to preserve and keep. Like, I think like at the end of it, like when you think like about the voices that are being lost or the languages that are being lost because like no one speaks them anymore, I think it's a big tragedy, right? So how do we preserve them and like we bring them alive again so that like you can essentially type anything and it comes out of it, or you can dab into multiple of those, any of those languages. So like slowly and steadily, we're going to be bringing like new languages. The goal again is always about quality. So we want to give you the best quality of voices and languages as possible. So we might train a model that contains like, I don't know, just making it up, like 100 languages. And then later on, we might say like, oh, actually, like language X, Y, and Z were not at the quality level that we wanted, so we're not going to be releasing them. That's essentially how we've always done it, and it's one of the main things that that we are pursuing usually. But there's going to be a lot more coming soon.
Got it. Next question here is for DeepBrain. Are there restrictions on using celebrity avatars and voices? Yes, 100% there are. So in the Howie Mandel example, Howie actually owns that avatar and controls that avatar. That is his avatar. He can license it out to his. We can put people in touch with his team, but we do not license out that avatar. It has to be done through Howie's team. And the next question here, how can you ensure that translation is correct? For example, English to German. So we use Google Translate, we use ChatGPT, we use some of the most powerful translation engines out there. As far as ensuring, it's always good to have a local native speaker listen and QA the output before it goes live, especially for TV and media applications. So we use powerful translation engines on top of local native speakers for final QA checks. That's what we recommend our clients do. Carlos, do you have anything to add on translations?
Yeah, so on our end, like up until now, we've offered like, or like the product right now offers the ability to like just upload the video or a voice or like an audio file, and then we do the full translation of it, and we try to make sure that it's fully correct. What we're actually like going and we're going to be releasing soon is the studio version of it. So like the ability to make the full edits of it, and you yourself or someone else do the quality check to take it to like 100%. That is something that is like in the roadmap that we're working on, and it's going to be available relatively soon.
Got it. And the next question I have here is, can cloned voices speak any of the languages within ElevenLabs? So from my experience, yes. Once I created a clone, I could select any of the supported languages in the V2 model. Is that accurate, Carlos?
Yeah, 100%. There is another thing, which is like, there might be languages that we don't support. So for instance, like if you take B1 multilingual or B1 English, the first one that we launched, and you typed anything like in Spanish in there, or in Italian, or in French, it would sound like an American or a British person trying to actually like speak the language without being native. So that still works, and essentially you can use that model to type anything like in any language like humanly known, and it will give you really good answers anyway, or like it will work really well with an accent that like it knows that like that person is not native, right? Like me speaking in English.
It's funny you say that because I actually stumbled across that feature by mistake. And I was like delighted that I was like, wow, I have a Italian accent speaking English, and it worked really well, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the things. But I think like at the end of it, like we all want like perfect voices that sound like native, right? So that's essentially what we're going, the path we're going.
Got it. And then moving on down the line here, I would like to speak with someone about AI human. Okay, I will reach out to you. So let me jot that note down here. And then, does ElevenLabs support the ability to add emotion to the voice presentation?
Through speech to speech, yes. And I think like Joe demoed like how he did it on his end. So he could have essentially like done a speech to speech version of it, saying like starting like saying like maybe like, hey, how was your morning today? We support like 29 languages, and you can actually like do anything you wanted on the delivery side. Then that gets translated, or like that gets automatically passed into the new language, into the new voice, and then essentially then you can use it for like the avatars. However, we actually want to give you like better tools to be creative with new styles and everything. And it's part of the roadmap, something that we've been working on. We will have some announcements soon.
Excellent. And maybe along similar lines, is there any way to control voice inflections?
Not yet. I think it's definitely like it is one of the items we want to have like in the coming months. But I think like as we all know in a startup, like there's like your roadmap is always longer than what you can deliver. So, and there's always like a million things that keep happening. But it's definitely in the roadmap. It's definitely one of the things that we want to do, like adding new inflections, like being able to fully customize everything through the director mode. That's like fundamentally like how we think we can take quality to the next level as well.
Got it. I'm going back to a question here. Hang on a sec. Okay, this is a sticky one, Carlos. What is your take on preventing deep fakes with the ability to clone voices? Any safety concerns? And I'll let you handle it first. I'd also like to address deep fakes on the video side as well.
Yeah, and 100%. I think like there is like a very strong correlation on that front on both sides. I think like from our end, we've put a lot of resources and emphasis on making sure that we're trying to stop deep fakes as much as possible, right? And I think like we definitely have the requirement that like if you're cloning a voice, you need to have the ability, like you need to confirm that you have the right to clone that voice at the instant voice level as well. And then on the professional voice quality or the professional voice cloning, you need to submit a proof that you have the right to like clone that voice, either because the person is directly talking to it and it's saying like a specific line that will randomly appear on the screen, or because you send us a confirmation, a written like permission in which you actually get the permission to actually clone the voice, right? Those are two of the methods. We've also implemented fingerprinting, right? So, and we're very public about it. So we have everything that we generate has a fingerprinting system in place so that it can always be traced back to a specific, like to ElevenLabs and to a specific user who generated that content, right? And we have a lot more things. So there is always like, if you want to have like an ElevenLabs account to be able to use voice cloning, then we need to have like a credit card attached to it. So we've actually implemented like multiple layers on top of it to make sure that we're stopping the deep fakes and we're like preventing any misuse happening as well. The final piece is also the fact that like we are actively like moderating content as well, right? So we have an algorithm that actually goes and checks like the content that gets generated, and if it picks up that something is like a popular voice, like it's a voice from an actor, or it's something that like it's potentially like content that it's not appropriate, then essentially we will be like actively banning a user or reaching out asking for more information.
Thank you. So from the video side, all of the avatars that DeepBrain creates are fully opted in and under contract. So it's not something you could do at home on your computer yet. It is something that we do in the studio, and the talent is eyes wide open going into it, signing over licensing rights for the avatars. So all of our avatars are ready to go. We do also mark our video that it's traceable to AI Studios. So there is traceability within the video that you know it was generated within our AI Studios platform. And then finally, we recommend to all of our customers when they're using our AI avatars to be very transparent about it. So the AI news anchors, for example, every one of them, when they start giving the news, they tell the audience that this is a virtual correspondent or an AI news anchor. So they're very transparent about it. They're not trying to trick people to think that these are real people. That's a recommendation right now that we tell our clients, but it will become law someday that AI generated content must be marked as such. And we can already see TikTok has implemented this, and not as a hard and fast rule, but as in a recommendation / requirement. It will soon be a full-blown requirement that AI generated content needs to be marked as such. So we expect that that will become standard operating procedure across many media channels, social media and news and TV media. And we support that. We'll also support any laws that come out for marking AI generated content as such. All right.
Joe, there is a question here on the creation of avatars based on age limit. Is there a limit on age for that?
So today, all of our avatars are adults, and the age of an adult, the legal age of an adult differs from regions across the world, but typically within each region, we will only create avatars of adults. If there were some special circumstances where somebody needed an avatar of a child, we could talk about that. It hasn't been done before, but we're open to discussion. But it has not been done before, and it would have to be a compelling reason why that child would need an avatar, to be honest. So we could talk about it. Okay, let me go on down here. This question is for ElevenLabs voice cloning. How easy is it to clone your own voice? How many minutes to clone your own voice?
Yeah, so cloning your own voice, like instant voice cloning, 1 single minute worth of data. If you want to do like professional voice cloning because it's your voice, there's actually 30 minutes worth of data. It's fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I did it. It was a minute worth of data that I used for cloning an avatar's voice. It wasn't even my voice. Another question here, can I use one video and then customize it for much like a mail merge? So yes, you can. And that has been done before. So this is a very cool story. The president of South Korea, we created an AI avatar for him when he was campaigning. And he used his avatar to create video messages and personalize them to each potential voter. So email blasts of hundreds of thousands of emails went out with personalized video messages of the avatar, addressing that person by their name, speaking to the issues that might be important to them in the region of the country that they live in. This was done using our AI Studios technology, but through API calls, not through the online platform. So with our API plan, you can absolutely customize thousands of videos and use them for mailing or communicating however you like. Well,
here's particularly, Joe, I kind of really like the campaign that you just mentioned as well. Huh? Like, I think like it's a really good way to actually personalize content and make it much more approachable overall. So
yeah. So everybody knows in the marketing world and the political world, video is where all the eyeballs are right now.
Yes.
And whether it's TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, people are consuming video like never before. It's much more engaging, and personalized video takes it to that next level. That I would actually get a video that feels like it was made for me.
Yeah. And it's very interesting as well, because like when you think about like advertising, like the advertising success or like the number of people that would look at advertising has been going down, but because like with doing advertisements that or like are being done that like not very personalized to specific audiences, just like as much as possible, like trying to like gather like everyone's attention, right? With like with your avatars, you can actually start building those personalization elements that actually would make it so that like conversion rates are much higher and people feel part of it, which is like really cool overall.
All right, I've got one here for you, Carlos. Who owns the cloned voice? And what about the voices in your portfolio?
Who owns the clone voice? You as a user are owning the clone voice unless you make it available to everyone else to actually use it. I think like at the end of it, it's your voice. You should be the one that actually owns it, and you should be the one deciding what you want to do with that voice. The ones that we have on our platform are owned by ElevenLabs, or are owned by people that voluntarily put it on the website for someone else to actually use. So I think like there is a combination. We have like pre-made voices or promo-made voices that are like owned by ElevenLabs. Some of them are also synthetic. Some of them are like human-made, and we have contract with actors. And then we have the other ones in which like someone might have gone and created a clone of their own voice and put it available for everyone to use.
Yeah, I think when I created the voice in ElevenLabs, it gave me an option to make it public to the ElevenLabs universe of voices or keep it private to me. So I kept that voice private for now, but I did see so many public voices. People are making voices and creating voices and just putting them out there for people to create with, which is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like the bigger the community, we have voices that are like, I don't know, there is like Marcus that is being used by 160,000 people like at the same time. So it's like, it's quite impressive, like the voices that have been created and people use them all the time. So which is great.
Got it. And will there be a replay of this? So yes, I'm sorry you joined late, but there will be, everyone who registered for this will get a recording and it'll be emailed to you. And still more questions coming in. Sorry, some of these questions are multi-parts. How often are you adding new avatars? So we add 2 to 3 new avatars every month, and that's regionally. So in North America and Asia, we're trying to add 2 to 3 new avatars every month. That's on top of the custom avatars. So 2 to 3 stock avatars every month is our goal. We're really focused on diversity. If anybody in the audience looks at our avatars and thinks, hey, I'm not being represented here, we want to hear from you because we want to make sure our avatar base it represents all the different users and all the different people that are using our video synthesis. All right, so we are just about 1 minute from end, and I want to respect everybody's time. Is it possible to capture the data from the interaction with AI human? So yes, different webinar, but the answer to the question is yes, it is possible to capture the data for our AI human product. And with that, I will offer it up to Carlos. Any last words for the audience?
No, I think like it's been fantastic being part of the webinar and presenting ElevenLabs and talking a little bit more about like our like collaboration between both companies. And thank you for everyone that made it and sent us questions and everything. Feel free to like get in touch with Joe or myself or anything.
Yes, so I'll end with if anyone would like to get in touch with Carlos, you should have my email information already because the webinar invites went out via my email address. I'll connect you with Carlos if requested. I'm very excited about ElevenLabs and DeepBrain. We kind of showed today how the technology can work together. I think Carlos and I need to have a conversation about a deeper integration. So stay tuned for that and maybe a future webinar. And thank you everybody for your time, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you very much.